There are several ways to import into Adobe Premiere Pro, and whichever method you use, you're actually going to be creating a link between a clip that you see inside of Premiere Pro, here's an example in the project panel, and a media file in your storage, wherever that might be. It could be an external drive or internal or whatever you're using. The relationship between these two is very important. If I right-click on one of these items in the project panel and just scroll down a little bit, here we go. We've got Reveal in Finder. This is Reveal in Explorer on Windows. If I select this, let me just pull this on screen here. I've got two screens. You can see the original MP4 file that clip is linked to. Now, when you're working inside of Premiere Pro, it sort of feels like you're working with your media. But what's actually happening is you're working with a link or a shortcut or an alias or whatever word you want to use, something that connects with that media file. For this reason, you could add 5 copies of a clip, that's a clip over here in Premiere Pro, into a sequence. There's a sequence over here in the timeline panel. And what would actually happen is you're not copying anything much really. The sequence would just play the same media file again and again and again. So it's important to be clear about the distinction between the two. Now, if I select this clip and I'm going to delete it, I'm just using the keyboard here to delete that, and go back to Premiere Pro, Premiere Pro is going to pop up and say, hold on a second, where is the media file? You can see that the clip is still listed, although it's got a different icon now because it's offline. I'll just toggle back over here and I'm going to undo. I'm pressing Command-Z on macOS, that's Control-Z on Windows. And I'll go back into Premiere Pro and I've got this link media box. I'm going to click Locate. There's various options for limiting the ways in which you're going to link things. I've got a browser on the left and here's my clip. I'm just going to select it, click OK, and the clip is now available again. This is referred to as offline or online. Online if the clip is linked. Now, when you're importing, you can go to import mode and you can select items. So here, for example, I'll select a few different items. Looks like one of these is listed as offline. And I've got various items that I'm selecting by single clicking on them. In this import mode, as it's called, we've got various different storage locations on the left. We can navigate by double clicking or selecting things in the middle. We've got various different display options. We can make these thumbnails really big or small. We can have a list. We can sort these in particular orders, creation date and so on. We can filter. We can view certain types of media. But the interesting part is over here on the right, where in this instance, now that I've got my clips selected and I've got them in a particular order, I'm going to have Premiere Pro put them in a bin. I'll leave this titled as it is, Theft Unexpected. I'm not going to bother copying it, but I am going to create a new sequence and I'm going to name this TU sequence. Now what's going to happen is when I click import, Premiere Pro is going to add these clips to a new sequence with settings that match the original media, and it's going to put them in the order that I selected them. They're down here at the bottom of the window. I'm going to click import, and there we are. We've got our TU sequence with the clips in the order I selected them. Now in this instance, you can probably just about make out there are these little, Adobe calls them triangles, they're kind of curvy now at the ends of these clips, and that indicates that we're using the whole clip. We're not marking with in and out points to select pieces of the clip. We've got the whole clip in our sequence. So this is just a very quick way to build an assembly edit, and here in our project panel you can see the sequence item is right there. Now there are several other ways of importing. You can use the media browser, which kind of does the same thing as import mode, but with slightly more advanced controls. You can go to File and you can choose to import here. You can also press Command or Control I for import. You can even double click on the background of the project panel. The benefit of using import mode, or for that matter, the media browser, is that those two windows can automatically display correctly unusual media formats like raw media or media that spans between multiple storage cards. All of those professional formats are handled automatically by those windows. If you use a regular file import option, you're using Finder or Windows Explorer, and they may not allow you to preview your content before you import it.